Hi guys. So we have learned about the difference between arrays and array list. What is collection? What are its advantages? When to go for arrays and when to go for array list? These all things we have discussed. So in this lecture, we will be discussing about the hierarchy of collection framework. So this we have to understand it. So collection framework is nothing but a framework which is built with collections interfaces. Okay. So right, interfaces are very much important. Classes are just the implementation of the interfaces only. The classes is something which implements the interface. Okay, so the most important thing are interfaces, which are key things present. Okay, so we'll be telling you what are the hierarchical representation of collection framework, what all things are present, what all interfaces, what all classes are present within collection framework. These all things we'll be discussing here. Okay, so let me share my screen. So these all things we have learned till now. We have learned about this collection framework, what is collection, it's a heterogeneous in nature, what are the problems with arrays, what all problems we are facing with arrays. Okay, it was homogeneous, it was fixed in size, it was not implemented using any standard data structures, so there is no ready-made methods available there. Then we have learned about the properties of collections, like it is heterogeneous, it can take heterogeneous as well as homogeneous data types. Okay, it is growable in nature, and as we all told you, with the help of that audience people audience example, like how we can accommodate a number of people based upon the sizes. Okay, at runtime there is one underlying data structure present for this array list, like resizable array. They are inbuilt methods. Okay, so at least one underlying data structure will be present for collections, but for arrays there were no inbuilt data structure. Everything we have to write a logic for that. So these all things we have already learned. And when it is necessary to go for arrays and when it is necessary to go for array list, these all things also we have learned about. Like when size is already known in advance, it should be better to go for arrays, because array list takes a lot of time and space. Okay, it takes a lot of memory as well, because we have to copy the data from the existing array to the new array which is created. It will create a new array list to copy the data, then it will add a new element, right? So if we know the size beforehand, then it's better to go for arrays. Okay, and when we are knowing that only one type of data is required to be inserted, then also it's better to go for arrays. And in other scenarios where there is a resizability and there are a lot of data which needs to be fit inside this, then it can increase randomly at a huge amount, and it's better to go for collections array list. Okay, and when we have to accommodate a different type of data type, then it's better to go for collections. Okay, so what is collection framework? So collection framework is nothing but it's a group of all the classes and interfaces which is used to manage different type of collections. So what do you mean by this statement? So it basically means that there are certain interfaces and there are certain implementation classes which is making use of that interface to make some changes in the business logic. Okay, so with the help of these collections, we can manage to make certain business logic changes. Okay, so collection is nothing but a group of individual objects which you have all learned. So let me tell you, that's hierarchy. So there are certain hierarchy which is present in collection. Okay, so this is the main collection interface. So in collection hierarchy, first thing is the collection interface. Okay, so there will be two things. One is collection and one is collections. Okay, so collection is an interface. Okay, and collections is a utility class. Okay, so if within collections class, there is certain thing called a sort method. Okay, let me show you through code. So here, if you see, if I am doing collections, see, collections is present in java.util package. If I use it, then there are several methods present in this. Empty lists, add all, binary search. Within this, there is one method called a sort method. If you go down, 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 yeah, see here, there are two overloaded methods of sort. One, they can directly take list only, and one is list along with comparator, which is an interface. Okay, I will tell you later. So there are two overloaded methods of sort presented. There are various synchronized method also presented this. Okay, so a lot of things, unmodifiable list, a lot of methods present within this collections utility class. So what does collections do? So collections provide a lot of utility methods which is used to implement a collection. Okay, so collection, how to implement a collection framework? Well, so let's suppose we have to sort the elements. Okay, so we can make use of collections class to implement it in one single line. Okay, so if you want, you can write a separate logic using comparable comparator, which I will tell you later. So that you can use to write a logic for sorting, okay, or comparing data. So with that, whole logic can be reduced to just one single line using collections.sort. But here the sorting will be based only upon the one single value, like string type. If you want to sort upon, then you can do. But if you want to sort based on other type, means if apart from one ID, if you are trying to sort on any other type of data, okay, so then we have to write your own logic for doing the comparisons and all. But collections.sort will be helpful when you have to sort based on ID. Okay, so on one particular thing, if you want to sort, let's suppose on address or one ID, then collections.sort will be better. But if you want to sort on multiple things, like you want to sort based on ID, then based on address, then based on name, then it's better to go for implementing your own comparator. Okay, so their Lambda function will be coming, comparator interface we have to implement. So those all things is required there. So that all we'll be discussing at later point. So here what my main agenda was, key collection is an interface and collections is a class which is having certain utility methods which is used to implement a collection logic present with it. Okay, so it makes life simple for collection to implement. So collections is very much helpful when we have to do some small things like synchronization we have to do, or we have to make use of sorting mechanism. Then it's better to go for collections dot sort method. So collections utility method are very much helpful here. So let's understand this hierarchy first. So while coming to this hierarchy here, you can see there are various things present in this collection hierarchy. First is list interface, set interface, and queue interface. There are three main interfaces which directly extends collection interface. Okay, so there is one interface, collection interface, which comes at first. Okay, then comes the list interface, which extends collection interface. Then comes set interface, and then comes queue. These all three extends collection interface. Then comes array list and linked list. These two are implementation classes. Okay, so these two are not interface. These two are classes. So all interfaces I have put I in bracket. So, okay, so I present in bracket means these all are interfaces, and for which I have not written anything. That means they are classes. Okay, implementation classes. So list, queue, and set are interface, and array list, linked list are classes which implements list interface. Vector is a class which implements list interface. Stack implements vector. Okay. Then within set interface, there is hash set and linked hash set. Okay. So hash set implements set interface and linked hash set implements hash set. Okay. These two are classes. So this linked hash set extends hash set. Sorted set is an interface which extends set interface. Navigable set is also an interface, okay, which extends sorted set interface. Then tree set comes, which is a class which is used for sorting purpose. So if you want to sort the data, and if you want to remove duplicates, as well as if you want to add get the data in sorted format, then it's good for going to tree set class. So tree set is a class which implements navigable set interface. Okay, so this is the structure, tree structure of set. Then comes queue. Then queue has a priority queue. Okay, so priority queue is a class which implements queue interface. Blocking queue is a class which implements queue interface. Blocking queue we have learned in multi-threading, right? So blocking queue we have used a lot there in executor framework, correct? So there are two types of blocking queue. Okay, so one is priority blocking queue and one is non-priority blocking queue. Okay, so these two types of blocking queue will be present. So there are other multiple methods as well, but as of now, this is important for you to understand. So these are types of collections interfaces present and the implementation classes present, which we'll be learning, and we will be doing a lot of codes on that also, real-time codes. So it will be helpful in understanding in depth how it is working internally. So in this lecture, we have learned about the difference between collection and collections, and we have learned about the hierarchy of all these collections. So from next lecture, we'll be discussing array list in depth. We will be now touching each and every part of this hierarchy in depth to understand it, so that it will be very much helpful for you to crack interview as well as in the project work as well. So till then, stay tuned and keep on practicing these concepts which we are learning. Till then, stay tuned and keep on learning. Cheers.